up, my friends?
Oh, man. It feels good to be back.
I'm Javon.
And I'm Matt.
Welcome to Ministrymisfits.
Dude, you can never say it. Every time, he's always like, welcome to Ministry.
You know what would help me?
Beep.
You know what helped me?
What?
If we had a sponsor. If you want to sponsor Ministry Misfits Podcast, reach out to us at ministrymisfitspodcast@gmail.com. I would really just love to have a commercial. Like, dude, at the beginning, like, this episode's been brought to you by, I'm not going to say any names because that's free advertisement.
Yep.
But if I could, it could be your name.
It could be your name.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, no, that'd be funny. That'd be dope.
Look at this space, dog.
Dude, we were just, if you don't follow us, you need to go follow us on Instagram. We just did an Instagram story where we were showing you our new space and kind of giving you a tour of how it looks to get set up and everything. And dude, your studio, your in-home studio is straight fire.
I love it.
Facts, like for real. So when I was here last time, there was no paint on the walls. It was a white canvas shell, no couches, no studio sound room, no TVs on the wall. Nothing was set up. There was nothing in here. Literally, it was just
just a room.
I was like, this room is straight doo-doo. And I come back like not even 2 weeks later, and it's put together. There's sound panels on the walls. There's paint. There's texture. I mean, it looks like a straight, legit youth room. Like I do small group in here. I'd hang out in here.
Get it.
So
except for I don't want any students coming on.
Well, I think I want to start becoming a rapper and make some mixes.
Let's get it. I'm with it. You want to be? Hey, if y'all want Matt to rap on an episode, we can get this. It's gonna be like what's that? Is it SNL at the end? They have the musical performance.
Yeah, musical impressions. And like you got Jamie Foxx in there who's doing like, why I want to be a Toys R Us kid, or I don't know. He's like rapping or singing certain things. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Exactly. He just literally drops me out like that, guys. This is the love that I get from me. All the straight love. Oh, man.
All love.
All love my butt.
What are we talking about this week?
Oh, we got so much to talk about, and all of it's good. Kicking it off with what is this? It's coming out of Easter still, and out of last week, but this whole Facebook post, Jesus died thing. What is
the Easter thing?
Yeah, the Easter, like the people post on Facebook, Jesus died. What's the big deal?
Okay. So this is, if you reposted this, I'm so glad you're watching. It said, Jesus, how do y'all still believe in Jesus when every year Easter's on a different year? How do you die on different days? Now, here's the thing, my friends, okay? One, Easter is not the celebration of Jesus dying. Let's just get that out the way, okay? I don't know what church services y'all went to, but Easter's not about Jesus dying, actually. That's Good Friday.
Yep.
That's what that is. Two, Easter is not the specific day that Jesus rose from the grave. Good Friday is not the specific day that Jesus died.
No.
They're just in remembrance of this day.
Yep.
Does that make sense, my friends? Okay.
Okay. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? I don't know. I think it's just funny. And I mentioned it last week, but we get in the cycle of just like reposting stuff or retweeting things, or just even like posting things and not thinking through what we're posting. But like this idea of like, for real, yes, Jesus died. Yes, Easter's on different days every year. I get it. It's the calendar. It's the way the world works. But in that, like, that's not what the point is. The point is in a moment of remembrance and us coming back to this heart of like, hey, check our heart. Let's figure out where we're at in that and what that looks like.
Check your heart and bless your heart, my friends.
Preach.
Well, with the Facebook thing, that's not the only stupid thing I've seen going on.
Oh, jeez. Okay? Well, I mean, it's just Facebook. I mean, if we're going to be real, it's just Facebook.
There's so much to say about you. But here's something I want to talk about, actually. It's something that was actually good on Facebook, but I was kind of put off by it at the same time because of the headline, okay?
Okay.
So, and it's a great thing. So, the headline, let me read the headline. It says, this church paid off $2.2 million in medical debt for local families instead of spending to promote their Easter services. When I first read that, I said, who spends $2.2 million promoting?
I've never even seen $2.2 million on our budget line item.
Thank you.
For me, at least, and just even like, I think just our church culture, like that's not something that and not just like in Easter services, but to promote their Easter services. If you're spending, here's time out. If you're spending $2.2 million to promote your Easter services, what else could you be doing in your church and in your community, in your world, with $2.2 million?
Right.
Just saying. I mean, like, maybe that in itself would do something.
This would be a perfect example of a church having that big budget and then using it for the good, right?
Yep.
The issue is, well, it's not an issue, but where I realized that I was just confused is that they didn't spend $2.2 million. They actually spent $22,000. I think that number's right. $22,000 on paying off the debt for the people because they worked with a nonprofit that buys people's medical debt. So they donated this amount of money, which equates to people having $2.2 million debt taken away.
So the church didn't really spend $2.2 million. They only spent $22,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's misleading.
And it goes back to like with news and with this world and everything that, we're so misleading with how we communicate things. Like we say, oh, like we spent blah, 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 blah. Or we did. And it's like, you can't sit here and tell me that you're spending this amount of money. And did you actually really spend this amount of money?
That's the real question.
But yeah, I don't know. I wrestle with that. And I wrestle with like false headlines or misleading, content or, it ultimately just goes back to me like, hey, you're misleading or you're misrepresenting like something. And so in that, like,
on the plus side, it was written by a magazine company, so it might not have actually been the church that posted that. They might have even done it low key, and somebody just came out and wrote about it, or somebody was like, this church paid my debt, this thing, this like that.
So try to write something up.
So it could be cool. I don't know. I guess I don't know too much about the situation. So if any of you guys are from that church, or if you work for Relevant Magazine, let us know so we can be more precise on that. But Facebook is just a trip.
We went a French series we just started with our youth ministry, and we were talking.
I'll be there for you. I've been there before. Okay.
That Friend show, which actually literally like we're the same text and stuff. Like we got the branding for it, and
nice.
We branded it that way.
Copyright infringement.
No, it's called borrowing for the kingdom.
Man, Ross don't give a crap about the kingdom.
No, Ross don't care. It's just Rachel. In that we talked about this idea that like social media is such a powerful tool. But we misuse it so much. And so in that, like, we lose the aspect of like, why, what's the heart? What's the intent behind it? What are we trying to do? And we just like get lost in the aspect that it can be used for good, but it shouldn't be a supplement of like life or friendships or relationships and things like that. So that's kind of where we went with it. But it just reminds me of like how powerful social media is and how gullible people are. Like,
man,
we read something, we read like one little post, and then like two people share it, and immediately we're like, "Oh, these are facts. This is truth." It's cap, like, fam, did you even hold on, time out. Can you explain no cap to me? I'm still kind of confused.
It means I'm not lying.
No cap means I'm not lying. Hey y'all, I'm in youth ministry. I was just educated on this new culture lingo. No cap.
So if you say, if you want to double up on it, you can say, I ain't wearing no cap.
I ain't wearing no cap. All right.
Cap. Yeah, say it again.
I ain't wearing no cap. No cap. No cap. That's a triple up. I don't even know. I don't even understand. I can't keep up.
What if you are wearing a cap? Isn't that a little bit... Hey, yo.
I ain't wearing no cap. You're like, hey, dude, you got a bill on your head right now. No, I don't. I don't have money on my head. Dude, I'm going to slap this in. But you get where I'm going, though, with like, the whole social media. And it's just like, it can be a tool, but we misuse it, and it's just a whole hot mess.
It's a whole... Y'all be looking like a hot mess on the internet. I'll be trying to say, actually, let's just...
Do it.
I got into an argument with somebody on social media the other day. I don't even remember what it was about. But they had the nerve to say, I'm going to block you.
Okay.
For those of you guys who are listening to this, I'm confused. Okay.
Yeah. Here's a deal.
And
and it affects me
Question
how.
mark?
And it's, for me, here's the deal. It's the whole idea of like, I saw this, someone posted this the other day. It's like, be aware of those who don't applaud, your successes, and those who like aren't there, but are only there for like your wins or your highs or like the good times, right? They don't applaud your success, but they only applaud, when like something potentially maybe like good or like something that like they could benefit from.
Oh yeah,
right?
facts, yep.
So for example, right? Like, so say that like you're taking off on your career. So for example, for you, so in fact, it's like saying that you would, get this crazy like rapping contract, rap with like Lecrae or someone, I don't know, or like I'm just an example, all right? I know you probably wouldn't do that, but just track with me, okay?
Well, maybe I would, but how come y'all always say Lecrae? Okay, continue. We'll come back to that.
Anyways, but you know what? Little Dicky, all right? Go to rap with Little Dicky. I don't know, like, well, whoever, all right? But you get this crazy contract, all right? And like a bunch of different dollars, you get aired on all these TV shows, you're, doing all these different things, right? And like people just start coming out of the woodworks and they're like, man, I'm so proud of you, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, fam, where were you? Like, and now all of a sudden, just because I have these benefits or I have these connections, or now you want me to come speak at your church, or you want me to come, like, so it's again, like, they don't want to applaud you until you get to that place of like success or whatever. And so in that, like, again, like, I'm not here to please people. I'm not here to, I'm here for what God's called me to do, and in that, the life that He's called me to live, and I'm going to do that. And if there's people that are surrounding me and on that journey with me and want to encourage me and join in, challenge me and pushing me up to be better, then awesome. If there's people that's not, then cool, bye.
Well, like my thing is like it goes to camp for me. That's what hits me. It's like I've had churches who've never looked at me twice. Then they come to camp and they see me on stage and they go, oh man, you should come back and speak to our youth group. You should MC this event for us. You should do this, you do that. I'm like, I went to your church and you decided not to use me. Yeah. And then you see me being used somewhere else and you're like, you look good. Let us be friends, brother. Let us fellowship.
I can't.
And I'm like, get out of my face. Okay, we promised that we'd talk about Notre Dame.
We did.
Cathedral.
We did.
Is it Notre Dame or Notre Dame?
I think it's Notre Dame. I don't think it's Notre Dame. Notre Dame's is cool.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, it's Notre Dame. And if we're pronouncing it wrong, please email us.
Don't comment on this video.
Don't comment on this video. ministrymisfits podcast at gmail.com so we can correct ourselves next episode. But yeah, we said we were going to talk about it because it was, the world was in uproar. There was, so many different things. Trump came out and said something about it. A lot of people were, all over the place. But so I did some research and I was like looking at some stuff because I wanted to make sure that, like, again, I never want to mislead or mistake some stuff, and check, obviously fact check sources, and again, not just read something and be like, oh, this is the truth.
No cap.
And so just reading through some stuff, like they kind of found out what potentially are the two possible things that caused it. And one of them is that they said that they have a fire alarm system, or their fire alarm system, their sensors weren't working properly. And so it detected the fire, but when they went to go look there was nothing. And so like it detected it in the wrong area. And so the sensors weren't programmed to the right areas, or they won't. And I don't know if this has to do with their construction that they were doing or the remodeling or whatever, but whatever it wasn't up to code. And so that's the one aspect that they're saying right now, is that like the police or whoever went to go look for it, they didn't see anything, they left. It went off again in a different area. They went out there, and in that spot it wasn't there. And then when it went out the third time, they went in a different spot, and they're looking at the first spot, and there's flames coming out the roof. And I'm like, okay, that just one sounds weird. Like, how do you not like, okay, hey, we need to search, we need to like check every pocket. Like, I don't know. That to me just screams all type of red flags.
Okay, before you go to the next one, if this is a place that y'all care about so much, oh man, if this is a place y'all care about so much, how do y'all not know if it's up to code?
Well, and how do you not, like, how's that not like a routine thing? And maybe it is, I don't know. And correct me if I'm wrong, but how is that not like, I know that places have like fire alarm tests and systems and things like that. And so this is a place that thousands of people are coming in and day out. Like, I feel like that's got to be something that's got to be up to code.
Yeah.
Where you're protecting people's safety, right? And then also, all the historic art and everything that's been in there and what people have been coming out to say. So like, why isn't that a priority, right? It's one of those things like you safeguard, you lock your house, you lock your front door, you're always making sure that, there's nothing wrong with it. Your car's not overheating, all that stuff, right? So why not do something this place is that important. And this isn't me trying to dumb down and like talk bad and be like, oh, like, you know, they didn't care about this place. Cause I get it. Like it had influence and a major aspect. And like a lot of people are hurt about it, or a lot of people are like sensitive in this area because it's like they've gotten to visit it. And I never got to visit it. I've seen pictures of it. And I've had friends that go and they tell me that I should have gone. And I'm bummed I haven't seen it before it caught fire. But I think that like there's still history in it, even with the fire. There's still a story to be told with it, and the memories and the photos and everyone's just got that. Like it's not dead because it's gone, you know, because it's a place, right? And we'll get into that a little bit, but no, the other one, which I think is funny, is a construction elevator. They said it was like they're going into like potential electrical short or things like that, which again, accidents happen. And, you know, again, construction site, that's why they always say like OSHA's always all big on like, hey, number of accidents in this set of days, and like wear a hard hat and watch this and turn all off for your torches and unplug stuff. And, you know, because like, I mean, you never know. And that was, I kind of put down, and this has nothing to do with the cathedral, but Six Flags in LA a while ago, they were remodeling.
Wait, what?
Track with me.
Did I go into a micro sleep for a moment? Because we were talking about the cathedral.
We are, but track with me.
For a moment, I thought you said Six Flags.
I did. So Six Flags in LA, California, and I know like if you get mad at me for this, but it's fact. It's like truth of places, right?
Cap.
So no cap. Six Flags, Twisted Colossus. They were going through the whole wooden roller coaster. They were fixing it, and they were adding metal to it and welding stuff and all this jazz. And so in that, one of the guys' torch was left or was turned off, but it was still hot.
Okay.
And he rested it on the wood frame, went out for lunch break, came back. The whole wooden structure started catching fire.
Oh my.
And so this whole thing burns down, you know, and it was a construction accident. And so I think it's kind of
I need you to do me a favor.
yeah.
I need you to go tap that computer and see why it went out.
Oh man, you have your sleep setting off?
I guess I turned my sleep setting
I thought
on.
this was going to be a fire podcast. And,
Whoa, my friends, what is going on? You know, while you're over there, just go ahead and just
gonna bring the mouse over to you.
Oh yeah, go ahead. There you go. Look at you being all creative.
I don't know. I'm just gonna just move it around every 2 seconds. Like,
Look at you. I can't believe you just said, I thought this was gonna. That's messed up.
you know what? I'm hurt by my feelings.
I'm hurt that you
You weren't listening
decided.
to my Six Flags thing. But so the torch was still hot at Six Flags, and in that, it caught this whole construction project on fire. They had to break down some of the wood, add more metal than they expected the first time, and it was just so much. And so, you know, construction accidents happen. Like these things happen. These things are real.
Right.
And so I just feel like that, you know, we got to be sensitive to that, because, you know, there's somebody, if it was a construction accident, there's somebody that's sitting at home, you know, feeling really, really bad about themselves right now.
Yeah, for sure.
For what they did, or what they potentially maybe did or were a part of. Or even the construction company's like, you know, never going to get hired or get a contract
Right.
ever again, because everyone's like, oh, you could have caused this or whatever.
Can I ask a real question?
Yeah.
This is a question for the listeners. When you think about Notre Dame,
Just say the cathedral.
the cathedral, when you think about the cathedral, I want you to ask yourself, when's the last time you thought about the cathedral? I want to ask yourself, how much do you really care about the cathedral? I want you to ask yourself, how important is the cathedral to you? This is why there's so much outrage.
Yep.
So much outrage on the internet. And when the $1 billion was raised in 2 days,
Wait, what?
yeah, $1 billion raised in 2 days to rebuild the cathedral. $1 billion in 2 days, which is probably much more by now. When that was
I'm gonna
raised,
Google that, see how much was raised now.
when that's raised, when all this money's raised, you guys get so excited, so excited. I had a friend who posted on, I didn't pick my nose, I fixed my nose.
Dude, it's like the top search
much
string
is that?
amount raised for Notre Dame Cathedral. Hold on, let me see.
Fact check before I start making this point.
Donates backlash rises in debate worthy philanthropy. Oh geez. Wait, no, that says 700 million. That's not right. I wonder if they haven't updated it yet. We're gonna have to fact check a couple different things just to make sure that.
Well, let's say honestly,
It don't matter. That's still a lot.
Let's say it's 700 million. Well, the number I saw was 1 billion.
Yeah, there's a 1 billion number.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a friend posted this. It says, "This is what $1 billion equates to: 2,192,892 Compassion Child sponsorships, which is a nonprofit, or 667,000 Destiny Rescue child rescues from sex slavery, or 25,000 international adoptions." The capability of coming together is possible, but it's allocated in different ways.
I'll say it.
In my opinion, unreasonable ways. Okay? Like, I would much rather, and it can't be a rather game. I know I might be the minority in this. Get it? So I might be the minority in this situation because I've never been there. I think it was a beautiful piece of history, beautiful pieces of art, and artifacts were contained inside of it, and it sucks that it burned down. But I think that when people come together in the name of preserving history, I think that they're missing the fact that they could be coming together to save our future rather than focusing on the past. And that's just my opinion. And it's one of those tragedies where everybody comes in and they're all sad about it. But like, there are daily tragedies that we could be fundraising for, and people are trying to fundraise for, and nobody will give them any attention.
Yeah, it's still at 1 billion. I didn't see anything else that changed, or they at least haven't updated it. But no, I think I agree with you. And what I wrestle with is, like, I've been on social media, and like, when it was burning, social media was livid and lit for it.
Yeah, social media was lit.
Literally a couple weeks later, it's like it never even happened. No one's
haven't heard about it since.
I haven't seen a post. I haven't seen like, hey, this is where the cathedral's at. I haven't seen like a, hey, like, this is what's being affected. And again, this is no disrespect to the culture and the history of it, because I understand that and I get that. But when you give me numbers like that for Compassion Child sponsorships of children that aren't eating or don't have clothes or don't have an education, or you go a little deeper and you say, you tell me child rescues from sex slavery, even adoptions. Are you kidding me? Like, those are people, and people matter.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, and this isn't me disrespecting the cathedral and what it is, but it's a building. It's brick and mortar.
Yep. It has to fall eventually.
It's going to fall. It's going to break. It's going to be destroyed. It's going to be here long past. This isn't a theology debate, but it's going to be destroyed and broken down and, be nothing compared to what we're going to be one day. And people matter.
Yeah.
There's children all over the world that are going to bed, I don't know, maybe without a meal in the last week, not even day.
Oh, and which I know, I've been thinking, before anybody comes out and says, don't compare tragedies, don't compare struggles, don't compare this, I think that our fear of comparing things is the reason why things don't get done.
Ooh.
And, I can't tell millionaires or people who are donating to this how to allocate their finances.
Nope.
That's not my job. I'm just asking people to open their eyes to what they're putting their money into so they can realize the bigger problem. Let's not say bigger problems. Let's say all problems are equal. Yep. Recognize the problems that humans are going through rather than brick and mortar places.
And the capability of coming together, the fact that was in 2 days.
1 billion in 2 days, and Flint doesn't have clean water.
I mean, facts. I mean, you have. I wrestle with this, and this is what I struggle with today, is because we allocate, and I think that's the best way to put it. We allocate our resources and our time in places that don't matter, in things that don't matter. And don't get me wrong, like, I understand that, like, I've had conversations. I have best friends that like tell me the history in it and the historical importance and, the culture and the diversity. And I get that. Mm-hmm. But we have people and a new culture and children and things that are going on in this world that are present day that we're ignoring because we're staying in the history.
Right.
We're staying in the facts. And again, I get that's important and it tells a story and that's huge. But there's people right now that are wrestling and suffering, and that should be a priority.
667,000 stories matter more to me than a building.
Yep.
A beautiful building, beautiful piece of art,
yeah.
beautiful piece of history, but nonetheless, building is what it is.
Yeah. I don't know. And I just wrestle with that. And I think I'll continue to wrestle with it because, again, it's just this kind of world and what we prioritize. And I've seen it. And if you want to come out and hit me with, well, are you sponsoring your child? Yeah. Every single one of our student ministries is sponsoring your child.
Yeah. I'm actually working on a EP CD where all the funds are going to go to a nonprofit. I will tell you guys what nonprofit it is after we iron out all the details and get some of the music moving. But yes, we actually do this. We actually are sponsoring kids, and I plan to adopt when I can afford it. I don't know if any of you guys understand how expensive adopting a child is.
Here's the other part. It goes back to, again, allocating the resource. How will we allocate some of these resources to the government to make the adoption process easier? Like, you have kids sitting in foster care without a family that all they want is someone, a bed to come home to, someone that loves them, someone that will encourage them and push them on. And you have to jump through hoops and court systems and, all these different things just to get, this kid. And here's the crazy thing is I see so many people I have so many of my friends and even pastor friends that have adopted, and the process that they have to go through. One of my friends, their child was an adoption for, it said something like 6 years was like the process they were going through. And it's like, because like the parents like released custody, but then they were still trying to come back, and then they relapsed and then come back and relapse. And every time they came back, it restarted over the process all over again. And I'm like, this is crazy. This kid just wants a normal life.
Yep. And I just Googled how much does a foreign adoption cost, because I had the number of what my pastor had to pay, but it says families can generally expect to spend $20,000 to $40,000 to adopt from another country.
What?
So if you adopt from a foreign country, you're spending over $20,000.
That's nuts.
To do so, on top of taking care of the child.
And that's just the process, probably. That's not even including the clothing. That's not including
none of that is
anything,
included
any
in
of the
that.
prep,
No.
like the airfare, the trips, that probably doesn't even include any of that. This is literally just probably the legalistic aspect and the paperwork and the processing, and if that, which it's just mind-boggling to me. And I get it, and I've seen so many people do it and how blessing it is to a family. I've also seen how hard it is, and it's one of those things you can't just go into blindly and be like, oh, like I just want to adopt kids. No, you got to be present. Like, these kids have already gone through a lot, and so now they're going to be stepping into a new family dynamic and be trying to figure out what does it look like to have a family. Like, they've never known that, or maybe they have, but they've only known like a wrestle.
I have some students that are adopted, and they struggle hard with that stuff.
Yep.
There's that always that feeling of this person's going to abandon me, or my family's going to abandon me, or if they don't know their parents, or like they never feel really complete because they want to know where they actually came from, why they think the way they think, why they act the way they act. Why their parents not want them,
what they do, like why is it their fault? And it's something that I see a lot. Just journeying with a family right now that's wrestling through this, like their daughter's struggling and wrestling in this area right now and it comes down to like, why does my family want me? And they're like, no, we want you, we're here, we've journeyed alongside you.
We are your family.
We are your family. And so it's hard, it's a journey, but I think we just get our priorities mixed up. We put all of our eggs in this basket of society and this worldly view and this luxury life and all these different things, and we see a cause that's spurred on by an event or something like that, and we onboard and jump onto it and
bandwagon.
I can't get behind that. And I value the history, I value the art, I value every aspect of it. And so I'm not shaming it at all. And I think it should be rebuilt at some time. And I think it should, be a place, that, people can go and still learn and be educated.
So it's not that we don't want it to be rebuilt.
Nope.
Talking about the cathedral, it's not that we don't want it to be rebuilt. We just want the numbers to be out there, just to be aware. If the whole point is to make people aware of the things that are going on, the marginalized, the people, these people fall into that. The orphans, the poor, the widows, all those people, the strangers, they all fall into that category of the marginalized people. And in this case, we're not talking about them being marginalized by the church, but by the world.
Yeah.
in general.
And I just came back from a conference a couple months ago, and Compassion was there, and they're talking. They're doing child sponsorship, and this guy had like a spoken word piece to go with it.
They hire me.
And right.
All right, Compassion, let me know.
So it wasn't Compassion that put on the conference. They were just one of the sponsors.
Yeah, but they had the spoken word, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. All right, we get it. One day we'll get you there. So, but in that, trying to get my brain back on track. In that, the guy comes out and he's like, you know, how many times a week do you go to Starbucks? And this isn't me guilt tripping you. I'm not guilt tripping you right now that like you need to go sponsor it. And I'm not sponsored. We're not sponsored by Compassion. They haven't told us to tell any of this. But they go. He's like, how many times do we go and we so quickly like buy coffee? And no joke, I love BlackRock and I go there a lot.
Oh yes, you do.
And one month I looked at my statements and saw how much I spent at BlackRock versus like what I was allocating my funds to. And just had to have like a real heart check and slow down my purchases and such. But in that, they're like, literally, we're asking for like $20, you know, to sponsor this kid. And that's like the bare minimum. That's like they get food and maybe like a little bit of education, you know, maybe just food and clothes depending on where they're at. And, you know, that's the bare minimum, but you can do more. And so it's like, how hard is that really, you know, in the grasp of things, in the scheme of things, to take that out of your, and I get it, finances are hard, and I'm not like, I can't sit there and look at your bank account and go, hey, this is what you have and what you don't have. But God will bless some people and bless.
But I think it's, we're in a culture where we're satisfied in helping if there's something that we can tangibly see is happening. So, and I know for me, it's been hard for me in the past where I have these people come in like, hey, sponsor a child, $20 a month, and they get this, and this. And I'm like, I want to see the child. I want like, is there an amount that I can donate to you like by month, like a layaway a child, where you can bring them to America and like give them a family and I can like meet them and see them, because it's hard for me to allocate my funds towards something I don't know if it's actually happening. And with all the corruption and nonprofits and churches and all these things, it's like, how do I know that the amount of money that I'm going to be giving every week is not going to be paying Bob's salary rather than whatever, giving help to, I don't know what name I can use without me sounding either racist or biased towards one country. So the little boy or girl who needs the money.
No, I hear you. And I think there's a fine line to that. I think you got to do your research and be aware of the organizations that are out there that are real and the ones that are shadies. And
like there are real ones like the Hope Effect.
And I think I've seen, like, again, do your research, check it out, whatever. But I've actually heard people share their stories and show me photos. And what's cool about the kids that we sponsor, we get letters every month from the kids, or like a drawing or a picture or something.
What charity is it? I don't mind shouting out charities.
I'll have to look at what our last one. I know it's not Compassion. It might be.
Dude, after you have that on, like where it's coming out every month, after a while, you forget the name of the charity that you're actually working with.
I mean, because it just comes. Like I don't sit there and like go, oh wait, hold on, where's that money going? Like it just comes naturally, and I'm fine with that. And so, but I'll let you guys know next podcast. I'll bring it up because I'm trying to blink right now. I don't have anything that I can like pull up via me because it's through our accounting department, so I can't fully like look at that and get backdoor. I have no access to that. But in that, like, we can write them back, and we just started getting the kids to like last year. One of our kids aged out for our 5th and 6th grade team, which was so cool. Kid got sponsored all the way up until they got through they got through their like primary, I forget how they do school, but they got through their primary school of like college, and they got like a certificate, and now they're working to, 1, support his family, and 2, to support his area and region that he's in.
Nice.
And so it's like, boom, like this kid, like it really did show effect. They wrote a letter, they sent a photo, and then so they're like, hey, you know, now's your option to sponsor another child, which we did, obviously. They're like, hey, this should be the next child that we want you to sponsor.
But I think it takes that, that ability to write back and forth, that
the connection aspect
to want to actually give.
Oh, so cool. I totally just forgot about the story. So my first year at the church I'm at now, went to Haiti, and one of my junior high leaders, still currently, was in Haiti with us as well too. And they flew out there, and their sponsorship child was in Haiti. In one of the orphanages. So while we were there on our Haiti mission trip, they contacted back and forth between the organization, and the organization came to our hotel that we were staying at, picked them up. And this was like, they still served on our trip. They still were a part of what we were doing there, but this was in their free time. So they sacrificed their free time to go visit their sponsorship child.
Oh,
and,
my.
Oh, dude, it gives me chills because literally they have photos of like, they brought like a little backpack with some like clothes and shoes and dress. And this is what gets me. This little girl was so excited. She got on her Sunday best, like dress, like done, and shows up, like, you know, and they take photos and stuff like that, and they hang out and they color and they talk and whatever. But it's like that real world. Like, they were on another mission trip and they realized that their sponsor child was in Haiti, and they wanted to try to see if they could make that connection happen. And it did. And it was like mind boggling because they came back and they were like, broken, of course. Like, I would be freaking broken.
Absolutely.
No joke. I'd probably literally be crying. Like, just like, this is
cry,
like,
baby.
You know what? I don't care. I'm emotional.
I'm just kidding.
But like,
we all know, man.
They were so touched by just really getting to like meet her and connect with her and like see her and see that she's doing well and see that she's taken care of and see that the funds are like really going there. And so again, do your research, check it out. I know we've kind of like rambled on this for a little bit, but I think it's important, you know, and it goes back to allocating our resources wisely.
Yeah. So those, let's just say those names again. Compassion is a nonprofit. Destiny Rescue.
Yep.
You can internationally adopt through many different agencies.
Yeah.
There's One Mission. There's the Hope Effect.
Yeah.
There's Streetlight USA. There's International Justice Mission.
Yep.
These are all the ones that I know people from that I can push you guys towards to get more information, and ones that I know that your money won't get used to pay somebody else's salary.
No, for sure. Which I agreed. Like, I'd be frustrated if my money was not going to a child and getting used to pay someone's salary, because that's not what I'm giving it to you for.
I mean, unless I allocate the money for that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's different.
Which
those are two different levels,
that's
you know?
A different level.
Yeah. Speaking of allocating money, allocating money.
Ooh.
What kicks you got on right now, brother?
I got
those are Yeezy Boost 375s?
I can't even afford those. Those are stupid. No,
I don't even know if that's a real shoe.
The Metcon 4s Nikes. They were a birthday gift.
I know an Instagram page that you need to be on, because those sound expensive.
These shoes are like $70.
All right, Preacher and Sneaker.
I didn't buy them.
All right, Preacher and Sneaker.
Sneaker me right now. For those of you that don't know what the heck we're talking about and why Javon's throwing shade towards me, you the one rocking Yeezys right now.
I'm wearing Feezies.
These are
$29 on Amazon.
So good.
These boys are popping for me.
There's an account that was started on Instagram called Preachers&Sneakers. And I forget the name of the guy. Maybe you Google it. I don't know, throw him under the bus or not. I mean, his name's out there. So, but it's a young, I want to say young college guy type vibe that started this account about preachers wearing these designer name sneakers. And it kind of branched from just sneakers into like designer name outfits and just a little bit of everything. But it got a little bit of backlash. Maybe not a little bit. It got a lot of backlash. You had preachers actually commenting on the account going, hey, what's your intent? What's your heart? I think it was Judah Smith was one recently that commented and then took his comment down. And they're like, really, where's your heart at? Yeah. But I mean, you're seeing these photos of these preachers in these really nice sneakers. And some of these sneakers going for several $1,000s or, you know, even a couple million in their full outfit. Like,
yeah. So the guy, apparently, I'm looking at this on Fashionista, which really sounds credible.
Nope.
Is an interview with the guy, and he says, so they asked him, what prompted you to start this account? He said, I've been really into buying and reselling sneakers for the past 2 years. On the other side, I'm an evangelical Christian, and I am pretty ingrained in that culture. One Sunday, I was looking for a song I really like by Elevation Worship and realized the lead singer was wearing a pair of Yeezy 750s. They're pretty rare and they're resale for $800 or so. And I thought I knew about church type salaries because my wife works for a church. So I was like, this doesn't compute. How is this guy wearing these kicks? So then he starts looking for more and more preachers and he's looking at all their sneakers like, whoa, where's all this money coming?
So basically it starts with this guy who buys shoes, resell shoes, you know, kind of as like which I see do. Like I see high schoolers do it. I see college kids do it. They'll like buy on like a Nike Black Friday sale, buy a couple pairs of shoes for $50. They go for like $70, $80, and then they resell them because they're out of stock now, and people are going to come out and pay whatever it takes to get those shoes.
Yeah.
Because they're limited edition.
Or on the drops, they'll go in and buy a bunch of them, and then when they run out, they'll
Yeah. So,
man, John Gray got some kicks on him. $3,700 kicks.
Dang.
John Gray's the same guy. Isn't John Gray the same guy that bought his wife the $200,000 Lambo?
Yeah.
And everybody's flipping out.
Yeah.
You
know, so I just want to talk about that account for a second. Again, I think it's with a grain of salt. I think, again, you got to check heart's motives. This guy's wife is in ministry, probably making, we're in ministry. We know what we're making. Probably if she's working, I'm guessing, I don't know. I don't want to assume, but probably children, students, maybe accounting, maybe somewhere in like in a admin type role. I don't know. But I'm just gonna say
that might hurt some feelings.
If that hurt some people's, I don't know. That was not.
I because I know you.
Yeah.
I know that's not what you're saying.
Yeah. Any role in the church, okay? She's probably working in any role in the church, but as a fact, knowing and working in roles in the church, knowing the different pays, knowing the different levels, it's not a lot. So knowing that what you make also allocates not only your bills, your life, your daily living, but also, treat yourself from time to time and stuff like that.
Treat yourself.
But $37,000 shoes, I don't know. And I think like the account, maybe it does expose some of these guys and they feel like, well, why are you digging into my pocket? What does it matter? Why do you care what I'm wearing?
Yeah.
But I see his heart in it of he's saying like, hey, if this is your check, what type of check are you getting every day that you're getting shoes that can sell for, several $1,000s.
Well, this is the thing for me. The Christian community is outraged with these pastors and their expensive shoes. Here's my input. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you ties to that church? And whatever your answer to that is the answer to if your opinion is needed on this topic. So if you said, no, you don't tie to that church, then your opinion doesn't matter on how he spends his money.
Because your money's not going to him.
Exactly. And number two, in my opinion, and what I think is that a lot of these, one, they're called celebrity pastors, okay? Yeah. You guys call them celebrity pastors. So one, their image is basically what keeps them going.
Yep.
So when you see them,
and we fuel that image, like
yes, you definitely fuel that image. You want them to be that celebrity pastor, okay? How about this? Is Andy Stanley a celebrity pastor? No. You know why? He doesn't look like one. He's one of the most influential leaders in Christianity, and nobody considers him a celebrity pastor. Why? Because he doesn't look like one.
Yep.
He doesn't play that role.
Now you're getting a status to maintain.
Right. And you guys are giving all these other celebrity pastors all of a sudden this new standard. So let me ask you this, or let me tell you this actually. One, a lot of these celebrity pastors are friends with other celebrities, hence the name celebrity pastor. And they're probably friends with a lot of designers. And those designers, you know what they do? They give free clothes and free shoes and all these things to these pastors because they're influencers. They get on that stage and have on that nice new Gucci jacket, those Prada jacket, whatever, those Yeezys, whatever. They could get those for free, wear them on stage, and it could prompt their congregation to wear them. Now, the pastor might not be saying, well, I'm wearing these because I want them to buy them. He's wearing them because they're super fresh and he got them for free or at a discount.
Or at a discount or whatever. You know? Like, so I don't know. And again, I think it's too like, hey, I love what you said about tithing. Are you tithing to that church? I think we're so quick to jump on, what everyone else is doing with their money. What are you doing with your money?
You hopping in somebody else's pockets. This issue has nothing to... You know why I'm not mad at John Gray? Because I've never sent a dime. I don't even know what church John Gray works at. I just know he's a celebrity pastor and he's got nice shoes.
Yeah. Well, and then like, you know, it's like, again, like what is your motive behind it? Like again, like I'm not looking at my pastor going, hey, like, what are you wearing? Or where'd you get this from? Or why are you driving that? Or where do you have that? Or, you know, why do you have this car? Or why are you going on this trip? Or why? Because I see what he's doing with his money. I see what he's doing with his time. What's hard for a guy to have a nice pair of shoes? What's hard for a guy to like walk around or like, you know, treat himself once in a while?
Well,
like,
here's another thing. What if shoes are what they're passionate about? I want you to think about what you're passionate about and how much money you spent on it. Because I'm passionate about music, and the music equipment's not cheap.
I'll say I'm passionate. Yeah, I'm right there with you in the music and the vibe and the speakers that I got. Like, I'll say the ones that I rent, I know for a fact are over thousands of dollars, and I rent them for a couple $100. But it's like the speakers that I have right now that I bought are, I mean, close to probably 1,200, like brand new originally. Now they've depreciated in value just because they have newer brands coming out. But it's like, you know, like it's good quality.
And it's an investment in you, right?
Yes.
Your speakers are an investment in you. Your DJ gear is an investment in you. All this gear that I bought is investment in me. A celebrity pastor thrives off of their image. Shoes can either be a hobby for them or, in my opinion, can actually be an investment in themselves because you guys have set the standard on what they're supposed to look like, on how they're supposed to act, on what they're supposed to have.
Well, we go back to, you know, again, standard in social media. You know, we sit here, we have this standard of how you're supposed to look, what you're supposed to wear, where you're supposed to be, all this stuff. And so we've put the standard on people. We've put the standard on them to be that. If we didn't put it there, then maybe they wouldn't be doing that. And so we can't get mad at them for where they're spending it. And again, I think it comes down to, it's their money. Like, I mean, if that is their check or whatever they make, whatever they get, and maybe they're not getting the shoes as a gift, maybe they're buying them. Who cares? It's their money. Hey, it's their choice.
And the thing is that I'm willing to bet that no matter how many shoes they have, it does not equate to how much money they've made doing outside ministry, not in their salary.
Yep.
Their books, their podcasts, their guest speaking events, all of these things rack up so much money that is not even included in their salary. So it's very, 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 very possible that they've spent zero salary money on their shoes and their outfits.
Well, and like the book sales, just thinking of that, like I know John Gray has a couple books. I know Judah has a couple books. I know, trying to think of the other ones. I
don't know many celebrity pastors. There's that one guy, Hillsong NYC.
Chad Beach?
Carl Lentz.
Yeah. All these guys. And they're going around all over the place. They're writing books. They're doing these different things. And it's like, you know, for going on tour and speaking at all these different churches or speaking at all these different conferences and speaking at all these different things, you know for a fact that those are high-paying gigs. I've gone and spoken at a couple of different camps and seen what they can pay and what they can make, and like that's just one. These guys are doing 5 a week, or these guys are doing like so. In that in themselves, like okay, you bring in a little extra. When I have a couple double weddings in a month, I have a little bit of what I would call funny money. Now, do I always spend it? No. Do I usually invest it into something? Yes. Do I usually tie a little bit more to the church or do something for the ministry? Yeah, just because that's the aspect, and then I'm not having to worry about spending out a budget of where I'm at. You know, I'm a single dude and I have that time and I have that aspect to do that. And so I don't know. I think
that's what I do when like at the Arts in the Park performance last week. Yeah. That check just came in. I've already spent it on, I don't even remember what that check went to because I actually haven't spent that one. The one before that I got from doing a wedding and doing a camp. Those 2 checks came in. I instantly bought this microphone. And then what's the first thing that happened when I posted about it?
Everyone, look at the money you got.
Money looks expensive. And I'm like, yeah, because I did outside work in order to pay for it. Everything in my studio.
The hustle.
Everything in here. Yeah. Nothing in here has been paid for by my salary. Nothing. None of it. It's all been outside money because my budget is not that open. Okay?
No, you just bought a house. You got a pool.
I don't have that much wiggle room.
Yeah. And
so when outside money comes in, that's when I can invest in myself and in my hobbies and in my things. And it's very possible that they're doing the exact same thing. So who are we to tell them how to? One, who are we? Ever
to be outraged at someone else's life. Here's the deal. Why are we sitting here nitpicking someone else's life when it's like, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your aspects, your passions, your dreams? Are you working? Are you one of my favorite BlackRock baristas, her hustle is real right now. I mean, her grind right now is like gym and stuff like that. But her hustle is real. And she's hungry. And she's going after it. And she's doing what she needs to do. And she's being real. And she's being motivated. And she's bringing people along with her in that journey. And so in that, like, it's like, why are we so focused on other people when like you could be focused on your hustle, be focused on your game, be focused on your college degree, be focused on whatever that is for you and be chasing that so much that it don't matter what's going on around you because you're so focused on what God's doing in and through you and around you and what he's called you to or what your passion is maybe than that, like in your hobby and what you feel like you enjoy doing.
Sure. Hot take. Why is church the only place where other people can be outraged about how you spend your money? That's a question because you can go look up all these huge nonprofits and you can look at their CEOs, check how much they're getting for salary, look at all their board of directors, how much they're getting paid, look at all the nonprofits. Really, there's so many nonprofits out there that are making excessive amounts of money, which is why I stick to these little smaller ones that are slowly building and I'm watching them grow and helping them grow. But you look at them and they're making all this money. You guys aren't questioning them on how much money they make. And you guys are donating your money. You guys are donating your time to those things. And you guys never investigate those. But a pastor gets a new car and all of a sudden hell froze over.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's, again, I think we and this has got to be another episode in itself, but we put pastors and church staff and these people on a pedestal. And we need to take them off a pedestal and forget that they're humans. They were humans first.
Pastors are nobodies.
Yeah, like I mean, literally, like there's no special ability that we've been given. There's no special like we are literally you just pursuing and chasing after God full-heartedly and trying to figure this thing out alongside of you. And so I think we need to stop putting them on a pedestal and start looking at them as humans and going, hey, what are they doing? And stop judging them and stop sitting there and again putting them on a pedestal and looking at them and for who they start looking at them for who they are.
Well, my thing is you can't judge their heart if you don't know them. A lot of people having hate for all these celebrity pastors have never had a conversation with any of them ever. So how do you know their heart? How can you judge what's going on in their life? How can you judge if they're a good Christian or not? How can you judge if they're manipulative? Now, if you're right, you're right, but you can't be right until you know. You have to know. Because otherwise you're just assuming, and that makes you messed up.
I had a friend, I'm not going to say celebrity pastor, and then I'm not going to say like the friend, but I had a friend who was like hardcore judging the celebrity pastor and was like, oh, he's blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay, like, cool. I was like, do you know him? Like, I was like, I haven't really followed him. I haven't really checked him out. I was like, do you know him? He's like, well, it's just from what I've seen in the statin and whatever. And I'm like, okay, but do you know him? And got to see him speak live, and we were sitting there together, and just like I see my friend go from like hostile, like hard, rigid, like I don't want to listen, to like okay, like he's speaking fire, he's speaking truth, he's speaking facts. Like he just lost his brother-in-law like literally the other night, and he's still speaking God's truth and praising and worshiping, and so like I'm just like, hey, like they're people. Like you don't know them until you know them. And again, that goes back to like you can't sit here and pick out someone else's life and point at their life. You don't know their life. Only God knows. And until you step into and really try to get to know them, you can't sit there and be on the outside pointing fingers and picking and calling stuff out.
Exactly. And that is what it is. So, man, and there are people who don't like me that don't know me. There are people who think that I'm all this crap that I'm not, but they don't know who I am, and that's what makes them look foolish. So don't make yourself look foolish when you're trying to tear down these celebrity pastors, whatever you want to call them, when they're actually great people.
Get to know them.
They could be great people. I'm not going to say they are, because I don't know them either.
I don't know them personally.
But I'm not going to assume that they're not good just because they have more money than me. Nicer cars, shoes.
Oh man. Yeah. Well.
Wait. I have a question.
Yeah.
So, did I ask you the stoplight question?
No.
Okay, so would you rather? So random. Would you rather every time you go to drive, if there's a light, you get stopped at it every single time, or get a finger chopped off?
No, I think you asked this a couple episodes ago. I don't remember, or maybe you asked it just in person. I don't remember. I don't know. I feel like both are as equally painful. Like, I mean, one's a lifelong process you have to deal with. I mean, I guess the other one's a lifelong process you got to deal with too. Like, I don't know. I feel like the red lights. I mean, now in Arizona, that's the only time you can text. So I mean, hey, like,
Arizona texting
yeah,
law.
dude. Hold on, time out. Can we talk about this real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
Why does it take 2 years to infect a law? Like, time out. I sat down the other day with someone, and it's kind of sad, but they lost a kid to a distracted driver, texting while driving, and so like they're a big advocate for against distracted driving and like the hands-free stuff. And I am so too. Like I used to be in a bad habit, and then I've lost a friend or two to texting while driving, or like they've been really bad wrecks for it. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it's like it's important, and hands-free and all that jazz. Don't text and drive. And so for me, like I get it, but I don't understand is, okay, so hey, we're gonna pass the bill, join all the other states that already have it implemented. Like, I mean, you can go up to Chino Valley and they got signs everywhere that says this is a texting while driving, hands-free zone, like all over the place. But like, we can finally join the movement of hands-free, whatever. But we're gonna take 2 years to actually infect, the punishment or the fine.
Because it starts till 2020.
It doesn't start till 2020.
Yeah.
No. It doesn't start till 2021.
Oh, it's 2019.
It doesn't start till 2021. Now it starts for the first. It's warnings. So you just get warnings. So cops can pull you over and give you a warning, but you can't actually get ticketed, which for me is confusing because like, what happens if you get 2 warnings? Now do you get ticketed for that? Like, because it's going to be on your record, like, right?
That's weird.
So like, I'm just confused by it. And so many people are like, it's a great start, but why don't we just like, why can't we just do like 6 months? Hey, here's your 6-month warning. And then after that, like, boom, you get the fine. Like,
well, I'm gonna be honest. It took me at least 2 years for somebody to convince me that there wasn't a texting law here.
Really?
I'm from Michigan.
Oh.
They have strict texting and driving, calling and driving, all these laws. We had these 2 girls who got into a car accident and passed away. They're both really influential at the high school that I went to. Ever since then, the advocates have come out and been stopping the texting and driving, and it's been a law ever since. And this is when I was in high school or middle school when this happened. So
wow,
this is what,
that's
10 years ago?
Yeah. No, that's a lot.
Oh my gosh, 10 years. Okay, anyways. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. And also aged ourselves. Okay, wow. Never doing that again. But
I like talking about middle school because I do middle school.
Yeah, but somebody was here and they're like, I was like, get off your phone. They're like, why? And I'm like, because you're driving and I like my life, ?
Yeah.
And they're like, there's not a law here. And I was like, yeah, there is. Like, no, literally not one law that tells you can't text and drive.
Yep.
And I was like, is this why y'all drive so bad?
Yeah.
Here?
Hands down why we drive so bad here in Arizona. But also, like, so I got pulled over one night. I was coming from youth ministry, and this was like one night that I was super tired, and like my phone was blowing up because we were dealing with leader drama. And so I'm like, all right, trying to respond back to him. And I was texting, and apparently I had swerved. This cop said he'd been following me for a mile. There was no car behind me for a mile. So unless he was like blacked out in a helicopter and then dropped down to the ground, I don't know. He was not following me for a while. So he pulls me over, and I pull over immediately, and he's like, you've been drinking tonight, and he's like trying to get me for your DUI because he thinks I'm drunk because like I had like swerved over once because I was looking down and texting while driving. And I was like, no, I was just texting while driving. And he's like, well, that's not illegal here, but and he's like, you sure you haven't had any drink? I'm like, literally just came from youth group. Like, you want to see our Instagram? I can show you like literally the game we just played, the message I just preached. Like, I can literally tell you this. And so he's like, all right, hold on. And he went and checked back, and he's like, all right, I thought this was going to be a DUI stop and let me go. And he's like, just drive carefully. I'm like, yeah.
Isn't that crazy how we wanted that DUI so bad?
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole conversation we need to have. Can we get a cop on here?
I actually probably could. I know a few friends. So
Would they be open and honest, like just straight with us?
One would be a
We should
G.
get an ex-cop.
No, I got one that would be a straight up G. She's pretty awesome. So I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, we'll talk about
if you're a cop, email us. We'd love to read you.
Or if you're an ex-cop because you don't want to lose your job, let us know too.
We won't tell what department you work for. But
we can blur out your face maybe.
I don't know. You have to figure that out. That's
I mean, I could, but it'd be annoying to watch.
It would be annoying to watch. Like, who's behind there? Anyways,
my name is
but like
Officer.
in that, like I after I left that, I processed like. I did swerve. I did swerve in the lane, and I could have hit the curb. There could have been someone on the curb. There could have been someone riding their bike. Like, and so for me, like, it was like a big moment of like, wow, like I shouldn't be doing this. Like, and since then I've been better. I'm hands free. Got a smartwatch, so I can pick up through stuff through my watch and talk through
Preachers and watches.
I can't with you right now. But I think it's crazy that it takes 2 years to infect the law, and like. I think this law should have been here a long time ago. I don't know. I mean, let me know what your thoughts are, but like it's just silly. I would have done 6 months, warnings. And then after those 6 months, like you straight up getting fined. And here's the crazy kicker. This is what gets me. The fine isn't even anything that's like if you make $1,000 a month, I don't know. Like,
wait, is it $1,000 fine?
No, it's like $125 is your first time, and then your second time is like $275 or something like that.
Really? But a speeding ticket's mad expensive, isn't it?
Exactly. And so
I've never had a ticket.
How is this like? I'm like, how is this like less than like a speeding ticket? Like, is it equally as dangerous? It's equally as like putting either your life or other people's life in danger.
Okay.
Oh, that's where I was trying to go. So there's a commercial of a friend. Sorry, I've been like rambling for a second, but like it just like
Good, go.
There's a commercial where like the guy's driving and the girl's driving, and all these different people are driving, and then their phone buzzes and it's in their like cup holder, and they're going to grab it, and then the friend comes over and grabs their hand instead, or like puts their hand in and cups where the phone is, and so they start holding hands, and the friend looks and makes eye contact, and the friend's just staring at him like. And they're just like, like, I don't know, they put their hand back on the wheel, but it's like, is my life not more valuable than your phone or whatever? And it was like these awkward moments of just like, or like they were like holding on like with two hands or whatever. It's just.
Well, Apple has taken incredible steps in helping people stop and break that habit. Unlike Android, they have a do not disturb mode on their phone.
We have multiple do not disturb modes.
Let me finish. That text the person back and says, hey, I'm driving right now and I'm in do not disturb mode. If it's urgent, send the word urgent, and then the text will go through. Otherwise, you don't get it until after you stop.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's incredible.
That's dope. I know Android has a couple like do not disturb modes. They also have like the driving modes and stuff like that.
Honestly, nobody's going to be bothering anybody with an Android anyways while they're driving. So...
Yep, I'm getting ready to pack up and get out of here. This is too much. Why you gotta roast me like that? I can't. You know what? Whether you just got bored and you're just driving in your car listening to us, or you're like, what are these two fools talking about?
Or you're an enthusiast and you've watched every episode since the beginning.
Shout out to why am I blanking on his name right now? Kevin Ham.
My dude.
He goes to my church. He's he's working on his ministry degree right now, and he wants to get into ministry. Dude, solid
I'll take you
guy.
on as an intern next year.
If not, unless I have him first. But
Kevin,
he's been on since the beginning.
You don't want to be his intern.
You don't be with us, do you?
I'm the guy you want.
Hey,
you start June 2020
over here. All right, it's June 20th. Anyways, we're so glad you joined us.
Thank you.
Dude, I was expecting so much more than thank you. Like, are you trying to just end it with that? Like, good night. Thanks for listening. Please email us. Please email us your questions, your comments, your concerns, your angry diatribes. Just reach out. Oh, there's thunder right now.
Yeah, Game of Thrones sucks.
What does thunder have to do with Game of Thrones? We're talking Game of Thrones next episode.
I've never seen Game of Thrones. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. Well, okay, so I saw one episode, and then, I didn't even see the full episode. I saw a bit, and I turned it off, because I was like, this is trash. I'm not watching that. And never been able to get into it. Not really into the whole Dungeons and Dragons. I can't say that on this podcast. Dungeons and Dragons thing, and so it's just, I don't know. It's just...
What are you I'm confused. What are you gonna say? It?
No.
If you want.
We're so done.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to us ramble.
Thank you. I'm Javon.
I'm Matt.
Thanks for checking in at the Ministry Misfits podcast.
We out.
Peace.